Hey guys, Eric Prey, Focus Fishing Guide Service, Table Rock Fishing Intel. Got another video fishing report for you for Table Rock Lake. It is Tuesday, October the 13th. Been on the water quite a bit. Didn't fish, I guess it was Sunday's the only day I didn't fish since the last video, but been on the water quite a bit. Things are definitely moving, changing. Things are different. It got tough, I'll tell you that much. As far as our lake level is concerned, we're at 914.02, so pretty much right where we were this time last week. The Corps is moving some water, not a whole lot. Most of it just because they're bringing beaver down. It almost feels like they're trying to do a fall drawdown, which they haven't done in forever, but we shall see. The lake's really not dropping that much, but they are moving a little bit of water. Water temperature, we had dropped down into the low 70s, upper 60s. Over the weekend, it got back up around 73, 74. After the cold front came through Sunday night, it being Tuesday, the water's back down to the low 70s, upper 60s. I saw anywhere from about 69 to about 72 today down here on the lower end. Some water temperature has cooled, and like I said, things are changing, things are moving. We got another front coming in tomorrow night, so it will probably change what's going on before we get to the weekend, but all these changes, everything happening this time of year and in the spring, in order to stay on top of this stuff, your best bet is to become a pro member of Table Rock Fishing Intel. Check it out, 45 bucks for a year. You got maps, you get daily reports, weekly reports, monthly reports, special feature videos, special reports on the tournament reports, that sort of thing. We interviewed the top 4 out of the Ultimate Challenge this past weekend, and those videos are all available to pro members. So keep that in mind. If you're trying to get the most up-to-date and most current and best information for Table Rock Lake fishing, TableRockFishingIntel.com. But if you guys are coming down, say you're going to fish the lower end of the lake where I am today, it was pretty damn tough today. I'm not going to lie. We caught 2 or 3, I don't remember which, on topwater early, basically fishing ledge rock. They were right up against the bank in the shade. Caught 2 or 3 on a spook. Had another 3 or 4 blow-ups on a big whopper plopper. Had a couple more blow-ups on the spook, but really not a great topwater bite. But being post front east wind, bluebird sky, I'll take it to get a little bit of a topwater bite. That bite is getting better, and it's been better up the rivers than it is down here. After that quit, we went strictly to the Pee Wee football jig, throwing both bass whacker and Hail Mary, and fishing gravel and rock mix points. And I think we wound up with another 8 or 9 fish. So again, not a very busy day, not a very good day of fishing as far as numbers, and we only had 3 keepers, 1 on top, 2 on the jig. So not a great day on the water, but we did catch them. And with it being bluebird sky, east wind, second day after a front, I'll kind of take it. I mean, you're never going to have a great day when you got these kind of conditions. It's never really been that strong. You can catch them on a drop shot as well. I know a few guys are still drop shotting. It's really a matter of finding the schools of fish. There are some smaller isolated schools of fish around that you can catch on a drop shot, mostly on a shad shape or the drop shad from Jack and Jaws, or on a Chompers brown purple drop shot worm. Those have been the 2 best baits. Most of the fish that the guys are drop shotting for are on gravel and rock mix points out there about 29 to 33 feet deep, right on the bottom, and you really got to move around a lot. You're not just going to find a school of fish, but you'll find a group on a point, but you got to move around a lot to stay on them. Go up in the Kimberling City area, and again, there is a decent topwater bite first thing in the morning. Most of these fish are shallow. You're not going to see them busting. You're not going to see a bunch of fish busting all over the lake. You will catch them on that ledge rock and chunk rock stuff up relatively shallow. Usually most of them are within 3 or 4 feet of the bank, so they're going to be fairly shallow, anywhere from about 2 foot out to about 4 or 5 foot. Really not catching them in the trees as much as we have in the past, but there are some shallow topwater fish. Spook and whopper plopper have been my 2 best baits. If you get around a lot of wood, like in the back of a creek, you can throw a buzz bait and catch a few doing that as well. Jig bite is probably the strongest bite on the lake, not just in the mid-lake or the dam. It's probably the most consistent bite on the lake. I'm doing best with the Pee Wee football jig, and either Bass Whacker or Hail Mary are my two best colors, matched with the Speed Craw. And again, I'm fishing mixed rock and gravel points is where I'm catching the bulk of my fish. I'm not really catching them on pure gravel. I'm not catching them on really steep stuff. I'm looking for mixed rock and gravel with a little bit of ledge or flat rock in it. Really seems to make a difference. Most of those fish are anywhere from, they're pretty shallow right off the bat. They'll be less than 5 foot of water first thing in the morning. As the sun comes out, they work their way out, and most of them have been in that 12 to about 18 foot range in the Kimberling City area. I have talked to a few guys catching them on a swim bait as well up there. I personally have not been throwing a swim bait much, but they have been catching them on a swim bait. Basically on those flat gravel and rock mix points early in the day, or if you have wind, they'll hit those windy points and catch them on a Jack and Jaws 2.8 or 3.3 on the Jewel Gem Shad. Go up into the James, and really the best bites in the James are going to be a topwater, either a spook or a whopper plopper up shallow on ledge rock, or a buzzbait. Throwing a black on black buzzbait, especially in the backs of some of those creeks and pockets where you've got some laydowns that are starting to show because the lake's down, catching a few doing that as well. It's real easy to tell if that bite's going to go, guys. You just go back into the creek, and if you're not seeing, not the little tiny shad, if you're not seeing some gizzard shad back in there kind of flicking on the surface, or at least some bigger threadfin shad flicking around on the surface, you're pretty much wasting your time back in there. But if you've got some big shad in the back of a creek, throw a buzzbait or square bill for that matter around those laydowns in the back of the creek. Catching quite a few fish doing that when the conditions are right. My biggest issue right now is I'm not finding a lot of shad back in there, but that is subject to change with the weather cooling off by the end of the week. By the weekend, that bite may be money. Jig bite's definitely strong up there as well. Pee Wee football jig out on the gravel points, gravel rock mix points. Pro spider jig around docks, around standing timber. Both of those are pretty solid bites. The fish, again, they'll be shallow right off the bat, less than 5 foot deep early. As the sun comes up, it's really not as dirty up the James as you would think it should be, but as the sun comes up, you will find those fish out 8 to about 15 foot deep up the James, but a lot of fish being caught on a jig up the James. Go up in the White River, the same bites we're talking about down here are working in the White. You definitely want to throw a topwater early, throw a topwater in the shade. Look for those banks that have a nice shade line on them, because that really seems to make a difference this time of year. And fish that ledge rock or that rock and gravel mix is where I've been catching most of the topwater fish up there. Again, whopper, plopper, spook, and even a buzzbait. If you've got a lot of wood cover around on these banks, throw a buzzbait around it, because you can bang that buzzbait into the wood cover and it won't hang up, and you can trigger strikes doing that. So keep that in mind. Jig bite's been strong. Pee Wee football jig, catching quite a few fish on a Pee Wee football jig up there last week. Most of them on Bass Whacker, a few on Hail Mary with a Speed Craw trimmed down on there as a trailer, but most of them gravel and rock mix points, and really more rock than gravel. Anywhere from 3 to 5 feet deep first thing in the morning. When the sun gets up, they'll move out, usually anywhere from about 8 to about 18 feet seems to be the key depth. So just adjust as the day goes on. Keep an eye on your graph. If you're seeing fish deeper, start moving your boat out deeper is the best thing I can tell you. Not really a great swim bait bite up there. I know a few guys were throwing it last week and did okay, but I tried it, I guess it was Saturday or Sunday, I don't remember which. I tried throwing swim bait up there. It was pretty tough, fog delay, all that stuff, and never really caught them on a swim bait up there, but I know guys are catching them on the Jack and Jaws 2.8 and 3.3, on the Jewel Gem Shad 2.0 up there as well. Windy gravel points. I mean, that's where they're catching them, gravel and rock mix, but you got to have wind for that bite to really turn on, it seems to me. Guys, it is halfway through October, and I'm really hoping we're going to get a cool down, because it's, I mean, hell, it's 80 degrees right now, and it's supposed to be 85 tomorrow. So it's a little warm for October. It is affecting the bite a little bit, but is what it is. It has gotten tough. It was better before we warmed up, and now it's slowed down. That's why I'm really hoping that this forecast we've got for the end of the week, where it's highs in the 60s, is going to come true, because that will really get these fish moving. Now, first couple of days, that front's supposed to come in Wednesday night, so Thursday, Friday are probably going to be tough. weather stays like that over the weekend, it probably will be good fishing on the weekend. I would look for these fish to move shallow. I look for them to be around wood, but I definitely think you can catch them. Guys, the best way to know what's going on, again, join Table Rock Fishing Intel and become a pro member. You will get those daily reports every day. Just get on there and look on the homepage. It'll tell you what we've just posted. So those daily reports are on there so you can find out what's going on before you go to the lake. It's always good to know before you go. But Table Rock Fishing Intel has the most up-to-date information you're going to find about Table Rock Lake anywhere. But if you're coming down, want to hire a guide, give me a call. It's Focus Fishing Guide Service. You can reach me at 417-860-4743. Or hit my website, focusfishing.com, and either shoot me an email or book online. Either way, I will get back to you as soon as I can. Guys, thanks for watching the videos. Take a minute to subscribe if you haven't done so, but thanks for watching. Can't wait to hear from you. We'll see you on the water.